Hi there, this is Autumn Bear, acupuncturist, herbalist, and food enthusiast. I wanted to talk a little bit about coffee today. Coffee is one of those things we all love in ways that go above and beyond most other addictive substances. To be honest, I love the taste of coffee. I also am a coffee lover. Personally, I can't drink it. There's a lot of reasons for that, and a lot of people can't drink it. And it's an unfortunate thing, but some of the breakdown of coffee is this. And if you have some things, for example, if you suffer from chronic fatigue, you have any sort of problem sleeping, whether it be falling asleep or staying asleep, as well as, believe it or not, chronic low back pain and other sorts of fatigue-related conditions, coffee is one of those tricky things. And there's a component to coffee and there's a component to caffeine. So coffee in particular, when we look at it energetically from the Chinese medical perspective, what it does is it is a very hot, energetic drink. And what it does is it causes heat in the stomach, and that heat in the stomach can burn up what we would call stomach yin. And the yin component is more the cooling aspect. So anybody who's got really crazy skin conditions, whether it be eczema, psoriasis, severe acne, boils, any of those types of things, if you're a coffee drinker, I would highly recommend actually cutting that coffee out, because coffee can both cause stomach fire, which causes heat to rise and get a lot of that redness in the face, a lot of the breakouts to happen, and it also causes a stimulation to the liver, which can do very similar things. They all kind of work together, and I know this is all a very strange way to go about it if you don't know anything about Chinese medicine. But in the simplest form, coffee can actually exacerbate any sort of inflammation or heat conditions in the body. And so that's a really good place to start if you have any sort of skin and or digestive issues. You want to cut that coffee out because you don't want it to be an irritant to the system. Same thing if you have any irritants to the digestive tract, whether it be Crohn's disease, diverticulitis, any of those kind of chronic digestive components, then you definitely want to cut coffee out. Not only does it dehydrate the body, but it also can cause a lot of inflammation. So good place to start. So on the caffeine component, caffeine in the body mainly stimulates the adrenal glands. And the adrenal glands are connected to these little glands that are right above the kidneys. And they can actually over-exhaust the body, especially if you're already exhausted, if you're working a ton, you have long hours. I know it's very common if you have that kind of job to want to grab a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe two, maybe one in the afternoon for a little boost. But the problem with that is that over time it can exhaust the body so much that we end up having all sorts of other problems, whether it be chronic fatigue, again, digestive system can be thrown in there. But it can also cause low back pain. A lot of low back pain is actually kidney pain. That isn't necessarily with any sort of disease or anything wrong with it. It can literally just get to the point that the adrenals are exhausted and you end up getting low back pain. So, and the kidneys in Chinese medicine are our battery pack. So if your battery pack is running low, the way to nourish the body is really, if you're tired, I know it's not rocket science, but you got to get some sleep. That's kind of how it works. And I know modern day doesn't really allow for that, but it's really a good time to reevaluate your life and take a look at how coffee plays a role and whether or not it actually serves you. If you need that caffeine fix, I highly recommend you go with black tea instead of coffee. It doesn't affect the body in the same way. It still has the caffeine component. So if you're looking at adrenal exhaustion, obviously I wouldn't have tea either. I would cut caffeine altogether. But if you, really want to look towards longevity, we want to keep those kidneys in good working order, and we really want to keep those adrenals in good working order, because the adrenals have everything to do with our hormonal system, our fight and flight system, our digestion, our rest, everything that our cycles are built on. So if you're struggling with any of that stuff, really consider it, and it would be a good move to make for your long-term health.